got obviously André here. We're going to do a
What's
little
up?
bit of edgeful updates. If you got any questions, make sure to put them in the chat on Discord, and then obviously online if you're watching this on YouTube or Twitter, X, or call it whatever you want. You can put the comments there too. But yeah, André, good to always be on with you.
Yeah, thanks, man. I love to talk with you. It's great to do these update streams. So first thing that I want to kind of highlight in terms of like main updates that we're doing right now is we've added so much in the last probably 6 months, is that now we want to focus on improving that user experience and like making sure that people understand what the steps are, like what the flow should be in terms of like with the algos, like understanding, for example, let me just open up my edgeful here.
André, just a quick one. Just double check that your voice is coming through the correct speaker. Sorry, I just want to if you just go to the settings. I just want to double check that everything is going through the correct speaker before we get a message from Sabine.
Yeah. So can you hear me okay?
Yeah,
it's
I can hear
through...
you. It is very echoey. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's because we're both unmuted on Discord and on Restream. That's why it's coming from two places.
Let's just do it then, bro. All good. It should be fine. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, run us through a little bit of updates. We're always trying to get some updates for you guys here at edgeful, and we've launched the algos. So I know a lot of guys want to speak about that, but we've also got a few other updates in terms of like user interfaces, and I think the website's looking fantastic. I don't know if anyone's seen the updates to the website, but I'm loving them.
Yeah, for sure. So what I want to show now is some of the improvements that we're making in terms of like giving you guys actionable steps to actually take when you're on edgeful. Like specifically, we started with the algos page because this page is super important. Obviously, for anyone who has the algos, to access the algos, you just go to the top. There's this red button up here that says algos. That's how you're going to access it. But once you do access it, we do have these 3 algos, one for the gap fill, one for the IB, and one for the orb. And this page has everything you need to actually have success with it. So first of all, there is the overall progress bar that we added. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, not that.
André, by the way, sorry, just a quick one. I actually just muted you from my side on the Discord. Now it's not echoing. Brilliant. They can still hear you speak, but I've just muted you on my side, so it's not coming through both sides.
How do I do that?
Don't worry. If you click, if you go on my name in the Discord, I'll show you. So otherwise, it's going to be an irritating stream for you, bro. Go on mine, right click, and then just push mute, not server mute. Just hit mute.
All right.
There we
go.
Talk? Now
thank God. Is that good? That's so much better. I can't.
Dude, because I was gonna be tripping for like 20 minutes, bro. It's like
okay, perfect. So. Well, I'm so happy you told me to do that. But so the way that this works is that we're giving you a progress bar. Are you doing all the things that you need to do in order to succeed? There are people getting payouts. There are people that are passing their evals. There are people that are growing their personal, actual, like non-prop firm accounts or like actual cash accounts using these algos. Now, those people are the ones that are watching these videos. So some people might come in. They might not think that it's like kind of mandatory. We literally write right here. Not that you're going to read every single word of text on here. Make sure to watch all the videos on this page. It's mandatory for success. So there are only 7 videos. It's not that hard. If you don't have 20 minutes or 30 minutes to look at this, and I don't know what to tell you, but it's mandatory if you want to succeed with the algos. So right here, we're giving you step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, required videos. Then you go down and there's 3 more videos, everything you need to know about the IB, everything you need to know about the orb, and then everything you need to know about the gap fill. So we've just redesigned this page. We're also going to be redoing this page here. So this is the home page of edgeful. When you come in, this is what you're going to see. The first thing on your first sign up, you're going to go to the home page. Now, what's super important for anyone who might not have watched these videos for a while, but anyone who's new, is that these 3 videos up here are going to give you 80% of everything that you need, probably actually 90% of everything you need to know in order to have success with edgeful. Now, these don't cover the algo specifically, but these 3 videos, this step 1 covers what each of the features are. So the report page, the discover page, the what's in play, and the screener. Yeah, I hope they can hear me, James.
No, they should be able to. We just muted each other, so we won't be able to hear each other on the Discord.
Okay.
But yeah, for the double echo. Yep.
Okay. So this video covers how what the functionality is of each of the different features. This video for futures, Forex, and crypto traders is super important because it tells you how filtering for sessions works. Okay.
Yeah.
Then finally, this step 3 is how you combine multiple reports to actually take a trade. This is the ultimate bullish setup. This is a setup that uses 4 reports to take a fully data-backed trade from the bias to the targets to the entry and the stop loss. So super important to watch these. Now, something just kind of like based on the questions that we get, I don't think that people are actually like going through these 3 videos. So we're making it a lot easier and a lot like just this experience to go through these videos a lot better. And that's something that we're working on now. Then in terms of the what's in play and the screener, so like if we go to the screener right now and I go to all, what I want to show you guys is one thing just in terms of a reminder on why you should, this is something you should have up on your charts every single day. So the way that I like to set mine up is I go to the choose asset, I do all, which is the stocks and futures. Then the tickers, I select the Mag 7 and then the major indices. So QQQ, SPY, ES, NQ, YM, and RTY. And then I go to the screener template here and I just use the daily bias one. That's like my favorite one without question. And then you can see here, the majority of these are bullish. You scroll down, the majority of these are bullish. You scroll down, the majority of these are bullish. You scroll down, and then I would say this one is not as strong in terms of bullish, but I would say, again, the majority of these are bullish. So today, if we go to our charts quick, what's going on here? We're obviously super bullish. So if you're sitting here in this consolidation, looking for shorts, looking for shorts, looking for shorts, you're playing the wrong side of the data. Right now, again, here, I'm not saying it's going to continue higher because the move is super, I mean, this move is pretty big now. But if you're going to expect something like this, it's probably not going to happen. Now, I'm not saying it's going to shoot up again, obviously, but this is something where you can avoid getting chopped up in the shorts and trying to pick tops just by having the screener up. And this is using live data, obviously, to tell you what your bias is. This is updates every single day. It updates throughout the day also. So this, to me, is one of the most important things to have up on your charts at all times. So does anyone have any questions on that? I know I just kind of like went through a couple things there, but I just want to make sure that nobody has questions on that. James, does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense, bro. I think what's more complicated than watching those videos, because that's super simple, is getting this echoing to be in the Discord and live at the same time. But no, I like that. I took the I took the longs. If I pull up my screen over here, I took the long today. Let me just get it up at the moment. I'm actually still got a little bit of a runner on ES. So let me just do this. Let me get my screen up over here. You guys can see this over here. I actually took this trade live on stream. That's why I was still on stream so long. But took a little bit of a while to pull out. We got the opening range hard break. Then I got the retest. And it's still looking really, really nice. I'm out. I'm still got a run on. As you can see, 40% of my original position size. So really, really nice. Yeah. That's using the all break, right? Opening range hard break. So I agree with you. This has helped me a lot. I made the switch over from currencies to stock indexes. And this has helped me. Edgeful has helped me so much in terms of using the data to actually make solid, sound trading decisions. So I'm following all good my side. If you've got any questions, put in the Discord and in the live chat as well.
Yeah, we had one of our guys in the Discord. What I'm doing right now is I'm putting on the orb indicator, and I'm just going to go to NQ quick. So what I'm doing now is I'm putting on my orb indicator and I'm turning on the levels. I'm going to change this to be 1 day back, which is today. And right here is our orb today. So right now we have a 95-point orb on NQ. Yep. So if you go from this 0 line, which might be a little bit small for you guys, but if you go from this 0 line to the 1, that's another 95 points. If you go from 1 to 2, that's another 95 points. So we have a guy in the Discord like yourself. Maybe you're using a different thesis, but on the breakout days, the probability of touching each of these areas is super high. Now, the 2, it starts to drop off, obviously, the further out you go. So if I go over here to I'll go to NQ, I'll go to the orb, I'm going to my buy levels, and you can see here that 97% of the time on a breakout day, price is going to touch this 0.5. So to take profits before this is just like, obviously you don't know if today is going to be a single break day, but for all the single break days, and obviously it seems like it's going to be now, 97% of the time it will touch the 0.5. 88% of the time, almost 89% of the time, it's going to touch the 1. And then obviously 45% of the time it's going to touch the 2, which is right over here. Now, this is obviously you've locked in a green trade. Your stop is either at break even or in profit. But if you're going to target up here, it's not really like, with this type of momentum, it's like not that unreasonable, especially because it's happened 45% of the time in the last 6 months on NQ. So in terms of how to set your targets every day, this is such a great report, and this indicator will obviously help you. But this is such a great report to use to say, you know what, I'm actually going to hold my runners to the 1.5 because the data shows that in the last 6 months, 65% of the time, price is going to get there. Or even if you want to leave like a little bit more. But I wouldn't be surprised if price gets to this too, just because of the momentum, and 45% of the time on a breakout day it will get there. But this is exactly how you can use data to set profitable targets. So
yeah. Any
are you
questions?
using this, James? Are you using this specific one for your targets, or are you using something else?
I am using those for my targets as well. The one I like, it's particularly playing towards, is that 0.5. They're just for a quick scalp. You know, where I'm quite like can have a nice tight stop loss, and then I'm playing that 0.5 breakout. So yes, I do use. What is the percentage probability on double breaks? Someone's asking in the chat.
On how often a double break will happen?
Yeah. What is the percentage on double breaks? There you go. Yep.
So what we're looking at here is, and a double break, just so you guys know, is if price had done this. So it's not, some people will get a little bit confused. It's not this. This is not a double break. This is a single break. It can break one side as many times as you want. It doesn't matter. A double break is that it breaks the high and then the low, or the low and then, or the low and then the high. It's about breaking the orb high and the orb low at some point today. So that's the double break. And right now it happens 46% of the time. What I always recommend is going by weekday. So each weekday will behave extremely differently. This is super important to understand. I like to go by weekday, and then this is the data that I will use to see how often the weekdays behave differently. So in this case, for example, double breaks on Monday are a lot less likely than, for example, a double break on Tuesday or on Friday. So super important to understand the weekday that you're trading in. Another example is the gap fill by weekday. If we look at, let this load.
So yeah, someone's asking actually also no on a 0.5x range on double breaks. So are you asking if it goes 0.5 of the orb, what is the chance of the double break? Do you have the stats on that?
So the way that if we, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
So what we can do here is filter for double break days. So I just went back to the orb by levels. I went to the double break. And then now it'll tell you how often it will reach both. Well, this is only double break days. So this is filtering exclusively for double break days.
Yep.
But this is how the curve looks. So like, obviously if it's breaking both sides, it's not going to be like, the continuation is not going to be as strong.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions, guys? Any other questions? But I like the user interface. Really neat. You guys need to make sure that you use those sub reports. That's where, and you got the right time as well.
Yeah. So we're gonna make it to where you can bookmark the sub reports too, because I know that a lot of people like to bookmark like the IB, but they use like 4 sub reports inside of the IB. So we're going to allow you to bookmark the sub-reports too, which will be just in terms of like, again, improving the user experience is going to hopefully make a pretty decent improvement. Just so you don't have to memorize like, hey, I bookmarked the IB, but there was this one report that I wanted to look at and I don't remember what it is. So that's where bookmarking the sub-reports will be helpful. Does it make sense to use more than one algo at a time? Yeah, absolutely it does. So the logic that I like to use with the algos is I like to have one where it's curated to have a higher win rate with a lower profit factor or lower risk to reward, and then another one that has a lower win rate with a much higher risk to reward. So the orb has a much higher win rate and the IB has a much lower win rate, or not much lower. It's the orb is like kind of with a few changes, you can get it to be over 75% win rate, and the IB with a few changes, you can get it to be 50% win rate. So if you run them at the same time, what happens is that for all the days that the IB loses, it's much more likely that the orb will win. So it'll kind of like offset your losers. And then the days that they both win, obviously that's great. And then obviously the days where they both lose, it's a lot less likely, but it will happen where they both lose, but it's just not as high probability because the orb has such a higher win rate. So I will definitely run two together, meaning a higher win rate, lower risk to reward, as well as a lower win rate, higher risk to reward together. That's for sure what I do.
Yeah, that makes sense. So we've got another one. There's a way to look at X days back to back test if idea setup. Yep, there is. That you can look at from up to 5 years.
Yeah. So the date range here. So I'll just go to like the gap fill report. The default is the trailing 6 months. So you can see here, this is from November 21st to yesterday. That is the trailing 6 months. And then in every report, for the most part, we'll have a table here that breaks down every single day. So this is every single day in the last 6 months is going to be right here. Oh, scroll down too far. And you're going to see that there was a gap down. One of them didn't fill, one of them filled, gap up, filled. So this is where you can really like go into it. Not that you have to, because it doesn't necessarily matter the sequence of what's going on, because like we don't know what's going to happen today specifically, but over the next 100 days, we know that this is like all these stats don't play out tomorrow. Like they play out over the next 10 trades, the next 20 trades. That's important also that you guys understand. Like if you see something that's 90% and it doesn't work, doesn't mean that the stats are like broken. It just means that it's part of the 10%. So you never want to concentrate all of your risk on one outcome, even if it's very high probability, because yes, it will work 9 out of 10 times, but there will be days where it doesn't. And that's where you don't want to blow your account being greedy or irresponsible.
Yeah, that makes sense. There we go.
So what I want to do quickly is just pull up. Let me just move this over 1 sec. And I want to just pull up the new design. So just give me a second while I pull up the new design. One sec. Okay. So I'm going to obviously make this a lot bigger, but so what we're also adding to the algos page, which I've already made the videos for, is
that you guys need to watch.
yeah, super important. Obviously, this is like not negotiable. Like obviously, extremely important that you guys watch these videos. I make them for a reason. I'm not making videos, explainer videos, going into the minor details of anything for fun. I do it because it's important. I do it because it will help you make money. And that's why I do it. I'm not making videos and we're not getting them edited and we're not uploading them and writing all the text for them and doing anything else just because we feel like it. They're important and you should watch them. You are paying for Edgeful. You should put the effort in order to succeed. So here we've added these 4 different steps in order for you to complete. So for example, this is the setup explainer. This is going to be these 4 videos here. This is the algo explainers. This is gonna be these 4 videos. So this is where you're gonna see how are you doing, and we're adding what I just recorded the videos for are the Excel explainers. So how do you can optimize your algos using Excel. There's 3 different videos right now. If you guys have any ideas on anything else, I'm happy to do it. And then some mindset slash psychology slash like how to think about the algos. So these videos, there are 3 of them right now. What they're going to cover is how to think about position size and how changing sizes. I see B Davis. I know you love those. I did make them. They're going to be on the site soon. But the mindset videos or psychology or just like how to think about this, or like it's more like context videos. I didn't really know what to call it, but one of them is how to think about changing your position size. So that's super important, obviously. So you don't want to be too aggressive. You don't want to be too passive. Another one is how to tailor your algos, and if you should have one with a higher win rate and lower risk to reward, and then another one with a lower win rate and a higher risk to reward, like how to combine that. And what's the last one? Oh, the look back period. The another one is how far back do you want to back test? Now, there's a lot of different opinions on this. In the video, I also explained there's no right answer. I genuinely like, there is no right answer. There is no, this is the amount of time. So not me, not anyone should tell you this is how far back you should look when you're back testing. Everyone will have a different opinion. There is no right answer. I explain my thoughts and my opinion on it. And just for a little bit of a hint, not really a hint, but like some guidance, is for people that look back 5 years and they want to test this strategy over a 5-year period, right? That means that you would be executing the same process every single day for 5 years. If you think about any hedge fund or any institution setting up a strategy, a trading strategy in January 1st of 2020 and letting it run with no changes up until January 1st, 2025, if you think that that has happened, you are out of your mind. There is a 0% chance that there is a single hedge fund or institution in any capacity that has set and forget an intraday algo without changing anything over the 5-year period. I'm speaking from experience because I worked at a hedge fund. I also worked at Goldman Sachs. It does not exist. That does not happen. There is not a hedge fund on the planet that has started to execute a strategy in January 1st of 2020 and has left it untouched until now. It is not realistic. So I just want you guys to know that when you backtest that far, that is the assumption that you're making. You're saying, I want to trade this strategy exactly how it is right now for 5 years. So, I mean, decide whatever you want to do with that, but that's the logic that I use. And James, I don't know, you can touch on how the market's changed too, but I don't know. What do you think about that actually?
No, I agree with that, bro. Like, yeah, markets are changing all the time. What worked last year might not be working now. That's why I think you need like a breakout strategy. You also need like a pullback strategy, because markets might be great for breakout traders, and then the next 6 months. That's why trading can be so tough, because you can't just stay stagnant the whole time. You have to be adapting. I agree. Someone's asking about the Ninja Trader. I didn't work at a hedge fund though, so don't quote me on that. No, but someone's asking about Ninja Trader scripts. In terms of what scripts are you talking about? We do have the Ninja Trader indicators. So if you go onto edgeful, if you go onto the edgeful website, André, if you can just show them on the right hand side there.
Yep.
Yep,
right over here.
Side. Yep, there's Ninja Trader indicator access, and then you also have TradingView indicator access. And then while we are live over here, I know for the guys listening on the Discord, on the right hand side, you can join the Discord for free as well over there. Yep. And then if you are part of the algos, if you buy the algos, you do have a private access in the Discord as well.
Yeah, so we have a private chat. So that's this one right here. We have a private chat that's exclusive to the people that have the algo. So in there, with like everyone talks about their settings, like different things that they've discovered on different assets. So for example, like I don't look at gold, I don't look at any treasuries. We just had someone that actually just passed an eval, I think from my memory, using treasuries. So using one of the algos on treasuries, which I think is absolutely awesome. And this is where like even stuff for me that like I haven't thought about, I learn in there too. So this is exclusive to only the people that have the algo. So it's great to see those conversations, and also like obviously like everyone's like having ideas and conversations in there that are not going to be in that free Discord that is right over here. So
yeah, so I think we can kind of wrap it up. Yeah, Andre. Every single Wednesday, Andre's in the live in the Discord too. Obviously, being the CEO, giving updates. Walking through maybe some trades that guys have taken. I'm in here in the Discord every single Wednesday to Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern time for pre-market prep. I actually did like the shorts today. And that's why pre-market prep can sometimes be tough, bro. Because then I saw rejecting off a level, and I'm like, well, I actually like the longs now. But that's about the fly, about using, being able to adapt on the fly using the edgeful data. Because I traded the all breakouts. There's no ways that I was going to look for any shorts in there, because the data from edgeful said if we're trading above the opening range high and we got the breakout, we can look for those extension levels. And that's the trade that I took on. Yes, that actually still moving quite nicely in my favor. So I'm up actually just over almost 20 points now on that on ES. So yeah, guys, if you got any more questions, please put them in the chat. We'll get there. And then someone's just asking in the chat this week for the new edgeful algos. Perfect.
Yeah. So
I think we can wrap it up there.
These new videos right over here will hopefully be up this week. We just need to obviously like design the page, and maybe we can send the videos in the private Discord first, and then we'll put them on the page themselves after we build that out, just because I already have the videos done. But
brilliant. And just to one last final thought is that, guys, this is basically doing the data back testing for you. You should be using, even if you're a discretionary trader like I am, you should be using some form of data to be like, okay, this is actually the play that I'm looking for, because it's backed by data in the past. And so we'll leave it on that.
Yeah. All right. Perfect.
Any last thoughts, put in the chat. We'll get around to you guys. I appreciate you being live here. And then, we'll see you on the next one.
All right.
Cheers, guys.